What would you do if everyone in the room blamed you for destroying the biggest deal in your company's history, only to discover they had no idea who you really were? Before I tell you what happened, subscribe to Hidden Truth Chronicles if you enjoy realistic workplace revenge stories inspired by corporate politics, betrayal, and the sweet satisfaction of karma. Now, let me tell you how one meeting changed my life forever. My name is Emma Harrison. 3 years ago, I accepted an entry-level position at Harrison Business Solutions, one of the largest logistics companies in the Midwest. Yes, the company's founder was my father. No, nobody at work knew that. When I graduated from college, my dad gave me one condition. If you're going to work here, you'll earn every promotion like everyone else. No special treatment. No shortcuts. I agreed immediately. I even used my mother's maiden name on my resume to avoid drawing attention. Only my father, the board of directors, and the HR director knew my real identity. Everyone else believed I was just another new employee trying to build a career. Honestly, that's exactly how I wanted it. For 3 years, I worked harder than anyone around me. I arrived before sunrise, stayed late when projects fell behind, volunteered for difficult clients no one else wanted. Whenever someone needed help, I never said no. Yet somehow, my manager, Daniel Brooks, always found a way to criticize me. If Emma spent less time asking questions and more time working, we'd actually hit our deadlines. He loved saying things like that during team meetings. The funny thing was, most of the deadlines we met happened because I stayed late fixing mistakes other people made. But Daniel never mentioned that. Instead, he took credit for successful projects and looked for someone to blame whenever things went wrong. That someone was usually me. My coworkers eventually stopped questioning it. If the manager said Emma made a mistake, it had to be true. Or so they believed. Everything came to a head when our company landed the opportunity of a lifetime. A 5-year logistics contract with one of the country's largest retail chains. Winning that account would generate millions in revenue. For weeks, our team worked almost non-stop preparing presentations, cost analyses, and implementation plans. I handled most of the operational planning. Daniel polished the slides. Then, as always, he put his own name on the final presentation. The client meeting was scheduled for Tuesday morning. Everyone wore their best suits. Daniel gathered the team before we entered the conference room. "Today decides our future," he said confidently. Then he looked directly at me. "So please, don't make another mistake." The room fell silent. Several coworkers glanced at me before quickly looking away. I hadn't made a single mistake on the project. But Daniel needed someone to blame before the meeting even started. I just didn't realize. His plan was about to fall apart in front of everyone. The client arrived exactly at 9 a.m. 3 executives walked into the conference room led by their Vice President of Operations, Michael Reynolds. Everyone stood to shake hands. Daniel confidently took the lead. For the next 40 minutes, he presented the proposal as if he had built it from the ground up. Every chart, every timeline, every risk assessment. I had created them. Whenever Michael asked a technical question, Daniel stumbled for a few seconds before looking in my direction. "Emma, would you like to explain that?" I answered calmly every time. By the end of the presentation, it was obvious who actually understood the project. Then everything changed. Michael closed his notebook and frowned. "I have one concern." Daniel leaned forward nervously. "Of course. I've been told there were communication issues within your project team." Daniel didn't hesitate. "Unfortunately, yes." Then he looked directly at me. "Emma made several costly mistakes that delayed our preparation. We corrected them before today's meeting, but I wanted to be transparent." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The room went silent. My coworkers stared at the table. Not one person spoke. Daniel continued. "Frankly, we'll be reviewing whether Emma is the right fit for future client projects." Before I could defend myself, Michael slowly turned toward me. He studied my face for several seconds. Then he smiled. "Excuse me." He tilted his head. "What's your last name again?" For a moment, I froze. "Harrison." His eyebrows shot up. "Harrison." "Yes." He looked genuinely surprised. "Wait, Were you at the Harrison Foundation Charity Gala last Christmas? I nodded carefully. My father asked me to attend. Michael suddenly laughed. I knew I recognized you. He turned toward Daniel. You do know she's Richard Harrison's daughter, right? Every face in the room went pale. Daniel blinked. I'm sorry. Richard Harrison. Michael pointed toward the company logo on the wall. The CEO. You could have heard a pin drop. One coworker actually dropped her pen. Daniel looked at me, then back at Michael. That's impossible. I finally spoke. I never hid it. I just never introduced myself that way. Michael leaned back in his chair. Your father has talked about you for years. He said you insisted on earning your own reputation instead of using his name. Then Michael looked directly at Daniel. So why are you blaming the only person in this room who actually answered every technical question? Nobody had an answer. Michael closed the proposal folder. I've worked with Richard for almost 15 years. If this is how your department treats its strongest employees, I have serious concerns about trusting you with our business. He stood up. I'd like to continue this conversation, but not with this management team. The meeting ended. Not because we lost the client, but because the client requested a private meeting with the CEO. 2 days later, the results of that meeting spread through the company. An internal investigation found that Daniel had repeatedly taken credit for my work, altered project records, and blamed junior employees to protect his own performance reviews. He was dismissed. 2 supervisors who knowingly supported him were reassigned. As for me, my father called me into his office for the first time since I joined the company. He smiled. I'm proud of you. Not because you're my daughter. Because when you had every opportunity to use my name, you chose to earn your respect instead. 3 months later, I accepted a promotion to Director of Operations. Not because I was the CEO's daughter, but because the investigation confirmed what my work had shown all along. The promotion had already been earned. The truth had simply arrived late. If you've ever been underestimated at work, remember this. Titles can open doors, but character is what keeps them open. Subscribe to Hidden Truth Chronicles for more powerful workplace revenge stories where the truth always has the final word.